Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to Project Ozone 3. Yes, indeedy. It's good. I'm a little bit addicted, I will admit. I wasn't even planning on recording today, but I found myself with some time, and so I'm recording. I did some little bits and pieces to this. I don't know how I feel about it. This is dark glass. It doesn't let any light through, so it kind of works as a mob farm. It's still a very plain building, but like I said, I'm not going to do too much kind of detail work until later, and I might do a lot of detail work off camera because it's not that exciting. So I can do some stuff, but this is working as intended. I can't remember whether I did this on camera or not. So this is an absorption hopper currently gathering all the XP. This is a very full tank going down into an ender tank, and the ender tank works like an ender chest. Oh, pardon me. I've just drunk a Fanta. It's given me burps. And the ender tank is being sent over here to this ender tank, which is being pumped into this fluid transposer, which is making blizz powder from this glacial precipitator, which is using water to create snowballs. So all I need to do is take these snowballs, pump them full of liquid XP. It'd take a little bit of time. They used to be a lot slower. I upgraded this machine, and I get blizz powder, which is very good. And the reason I made blizz powder is to make all of the upgrades from thermal expansion. Because I needed blizz powder for the signalum upgrade to make cryothium dust, and then I've made the resonant upgrade kit. And so what that means now is, all of my power generators are upgraded, which is very, very good. So what that means is each one of these is outputting a maximum of 600 RF per tick. I have 20 of them. So on this side, I can do 6,000 RF per tick. That side, I can do 6,000 RF per tick. So this little setup can currently do 12,000 RF per tick, which is pretty nice. And yeah, I can see them kind of filling down, which is interesting. Not sure where all the power is going, to be honest. I mean, obviously it's going somewhere. I just don't know where. Nothing's on other than this. Unless it is currently going into this, which it could be doing. This is using 240 RF per tick. So that's probably it. And this will be making, or was making snowballs again. So they'll be using a little bit. Obviously the network here is always using some. So what we're going to do today is we're going to jump down here. And we're going to look at the setup here. We're going to look at storage. So my plan, and everything I built here, I think is in evens, right? I built in evens, which makes things a little bit annoying, but eventually I will run two, what do you call it? Two ME controllers right here, I think. But for now, I'm just going to run regular controllers, or one controller. On each side, I'm going to set up our little auto crafting. Now, I just found out something about auto crafting that I did not realize. And that is that actually the best setup for auto crafting, I'll just do this. The best setup for auto crafting is not kind of a big mishmash of everything together. The best setup apparently, okay, and we may as well do this now, is, no, we have some co-processing units. And they recommend a 3x3, but that's going to look annoying, so I might not. So many co-processing units with one crafting storage. Because, as it turns out... Ooh, didn't want that. As it turns out, this can't actually... that looks kind of neat. This is now one crafting computer. Okay, and it can hold 64,000 storage crafting bibbities, right? If I add another crafting storage to this, it can't use 128. It can still only use 64K. And so what these co-processors do is allow it to split up jobs. So I can go and put the molecular assemblers and the ME interfaces wherever I like. So I could go put them over here where now, I forgot to mention there are cables running under the ground here to everything that I need to set up. But I could set up the actual crafting part of this anywhere that I like. because basically this will do the work and then it'll send it to the little crafting section. It does not need to be connected with everything. Now, I'm going to make it connected to everything because I actually just think it's nice to have a neat little package, but that does make it slightly tricky to fit it into this. So if I do that, and then this, and then this, and then this, so I can do that. Now, this is going to look a bit chilly, I think. But basically what the crafting co-processors do is allow it to use as many molecular assemblers as are connected to the ME interface. So, for example, if I had... It's really hard to explain, but I can split the recipes across multiple ones, so they can do all of the steps kind of, not one after the other, but all at the same time, and it all culminates into the final craft. I hate how this looks, so I'm not going to do this. I might actually split this. Maybe what I'll do is that this side can be the actual crafting area. So maybe I could put another little crafting CPU like here, there, and then another one here. Okay. I don't know, I could just do that. So I'll have like 3 crafting CPUs over here, and then here we could set up a little kind of a little tower, which actually, this might look all right if we bring it across one. You go there, bring you up, and so a little tower of assemblers, or a little tower of, what are these called? Interfaces. And then all the assemblers up like that. And so that will be our little crafting section. And we could do a couple of little towers there. I don't mind that at all. Let me get some other things crafted up. Okay, I think I made enough. Actually, looking at this now, I think it's a little bit short. Yeah, it's going to be a tad short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Oh, my calculations were correct. Brilliant. So, dig down here. And bring the cable across. Not all the way there. Boop, boop. Boop. Would you just fly, please? There we go. So there's the setup. The good thing is all of this is very minimal in terms of the amount of channels that need to get taken up. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's 4 channels all going into this one controller here, into this one fat cable, and then we'll have channels coming from this fat cable as well. So I made another 10 molecular assemblers, which is actually not as many, not enough, but it's enough for one more stack of this. Wee. Okay, so do that. And then we can do this just to remind myself that this is what's going to happen here. Boop, boop. And boop. Like that. Oh, lovely. So, got speed upgrades for this. They take 5 each, so we are going to need quite a few. But this should be enough to do some of them. That's alright. Alright. Then we can put patterns in there as well, which is good. Now, the scary bit about this is I'm going to have to break my ME system up there to bring it down here. So the plan is I'm going to put my ME controller down here. I'll extend this across probably to here. ME controller there in the ground. All of the drives along here. The drives are going to be for random stuff. So what we've got here, and let's make some more. Let's make some more, because we can make another 16. What are we short on? We're short on black concrete. Well, that's happened accidentally. Alright, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is going to be full anyway at some point. So, we've got a couple of things that we need to do here. And I may as well just stack this up like this. Neatness is goodness. Right, so we know we're going to want one for cobblestone. We know cobblestone. So, we might do cobblestone. So, stone, cobblestone, gravel, and then sand. like this. So let's go get me some stone. Basically, the next step of this process is I need to make it so that my storage system looks good and makes sense. Because if it doesn't do those things, then it's a really poor storage system. And generally, I've kind of gone for a bit of a slapdash storage system, traditionally. I don't want to do that this time. I'm going to gang up myself an axe. I don't want to do that this time. I want to make it so that my storage system makes sense, is quite pretty, but is also really serviceable. So I need this because I cannot afford to keep making 64K drives, and eventually it's just going to do me dirty, really. So we're going to have a section for mob drops. I started making a chest of all of the mob drops. I'm going to have to put in there. We'll need blizz powder. So smart cables, things like that, that can just go into my drawers. Wasteland earth I will need in there, definitely. Redstone, I guess I'm going to have to find a spot for as well. So all the dusts can go together. And then I'm going to have to go through the loot bag opener and set up a loot bag opener setup. Yes, set up a setup. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous. I think I'm at the point where I can break this. I'm at the point where everything crashes. There we go, I'm back. I'm at the point where I can break this, which is making me a little bit nervous, but I just remembered something I wanted to do, which was, and hopefully I've got the stuff to make it. It is a energy cell. Oh, that's cheap as anything. Let's do 3. The reason for this is so these energy cells will obviously store power. The lag down here is crazy, and I'm a bit worried about all the chisel and bits around the place. Let's do this. I would like... So the point of the energy cell is to store power. It stores 200,000 AE, but that's effectively RF. What I think I might do is if we come down here, a bit of a problem that I've got currently is that when I do some crafting, all of this runs out of power, which is not good. It's not what you want. So what this should do is give me a 600... Why? Why you not connect? That's a bother. That kind of throws off my whole plan if you won't connect. It's not the worst thing in the world. We could... if I put the energy cell here... Unless it needs an energy acceptor. But then I know the ME system works as an energy acceptor as well. Let's... Okay, I'm just going to try this. I can't... It's not like breaking that destroys everything forever. I just can't access my drives, which is fine. So if I place that there, and then place that there, I should get power, and all of these are also getting power, except for this one. But is that because these are still charging? Okay, so that's... Yep, okay. So all 3 of those are charged. And I think... okay, so that's good. But unfortunately, I need to go and actually access my system for the energy acceptor. So I do have one. And what I'm thinking is if I get the energy acceptor, I may as well grab both, then I can chuck that. I feel like I'll be able to throw that here and put you on there. And I reckon that might be a little bit of a sneaky. I'll try that. That might enable us to really pump power into this machine, because this is obviously the whole brains of everything. And I want to make sure that it is all good to go. So if I put that there, obviously it's going to have power. Everything's powered. Energy acceptor. You know what? I'm just going to leave that as is. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's absolutely fine and dandy with me. Did I put it on the bottom? I didn't. It was just getting energy from this, but I want to do that anyway, which I can't. I want to power that directly. Okay. So it's got a buffer. It's got power. That should be good. All right. And we're going to dense energy cables. And the channels are hooked up. 5 channels. More than I thought. Ah, because 1 for each interface. So 5 and 6. 4 and 5. And then over here should be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 channels. Is that correct? 3 channels. Makes me think something's not connected. And 1 channel. Beautiful. Connected. Texture slightly changed. But I don't know the mod well enough to know what the texture looks like. Okay, so these are now set up. I've kind of got some of the stuff in there, not everything, because I don't actually have a lot of stuff in my system. And the next step is to go and get the drives. Now, this is going to be a bit of a schmozzle. So I think I'm going to need a chest, which of course I can't make, because all of my stuff is elsewhere. But I can take this one and put my drives in it. So as I break these, I'm pretty sure the drives will all pop out, and I need to make sure my drives stay safe. Which, if I am able to store them, they will. There we go. So let's take all of those, the ME drives. And I've got 4, which is pretty much perfect. 2, 3, 4. And for now, it's just going to be random to get all my stuff back in here. I'm a real big fan of these smart cables. They look much nicer than the kind of purpley ones. Alright, so smart cable. And then I need interface terminal, no, crafting terminal. It's going to go there. And just for now, I'll place it like this. It's not how I want it set up, especially not like that. But that should give me access to everything. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need an I/O drive, I/O port. The way that this works is because I now have these set up, and I should be able to use at storage. This quantify key will tell me how much I've got of everything in the drawers. Yes. Okay, and hopefully this will give us a nice visual of this working. Beautiful. Okay, so I've got this set up. Now, when I put my drives in here, so this one has a lot of full drives. As I put the drives in here, it's going to sort through the drives and start filling up all of my drawers. So because my drawers, yep, so we can see the stone going up. So basically what this is doing is it's taking stuff from the these storage cells, so these hard drives, and it is redistributing them around our current network. So because I have the priority of the storage drawers here set to 10, that means it will always look for a spot to put it in a storage drawer before it puts it in a hard drive. Now the reason that's good is because I can store a lot more in these storage drawers than I can in these hard drives. As you can see, we're up to 72,000 here, and I'm nowhere near the limit. So that's 1,000, that's less than, I don't even know. Look, it's a huge amount. So the stack limit is 3,072 times 96. So it's massive, massive amounts. And I've only got 1,026 stacks in there currently. So I can hold a lot more, and I can fit a lot more of these storage upgrades in here. And as you can see, it's kind of emptying out all of the drives. Okay, so this stack limit is a bit interesting. So this Inferium Essence, I think, has reached the stack limit. So each one of these drawers can currently hold 197,000 items. So 3,072 is our stack limit. But that is okay because we do have over here, I have upgraded some of the empty drawers because I wanted to make sure I kept everything on an equal footing. But what we can do now is, now this has more, so we can now hold 6,144. So that should effectively double that. The max amount these can hold is pretty large. The only problem that I have now is trying to find which one of these hard drives contains the inferium essence. I think I might have found it. 236. I think that's not quite what we're up to now. We've got 256. So I'll do all this off camera, but I just wanted to keep you updated with how the storage system is going. And I think it's working pretty nice. And the next step is we'll set up our, hopefully, let's see if this is working currently. Can see our molecular assemblers. Only 4 of them. Because it's, yes, good. It's only 4 molecular assemblers because it goes according to interfaces. But let's continue on. So I find myself very confused. I've done a lot of setting up, and this has been kind of annoying, but I've put all of my ingots into compacting drawers, so we'll have access to the blocks, the nuggets, and the ingots, which would be nice. If I have a look at aluminium, you see we have access to all of the ingots, nuggets, and blocks. That's going to make auto crafting nice and quicker because it means I don't have to craft them down or up. The problem I'm having is I've redesigned how the molecular assemblers look. Part of the reason I did that, though, is because it doesn't... I'm getting no channels on this side. So none of these interfaces are coming up as channels. They are on this side, but only one channel. Only this interface is being picked up as a channel. And I thought it could have been because... like there's too many channels on this line, but that's not the case either, because if I come down here, there's only 2 channels going in, and then there's only 4 channels going into that one, and then there's only 6 in total out of the dense cable. So that doesn't even make sense in regards to that. None of these do all create a channel. So unless it's something to do with that, 6 channels, 6 channels. That's got 4 total channels. I'm really confused about why this is. This should be fine, unless the fact that that's going into that might be an issue. Let's take this dense cable, and let's see if this solves the problem. If I dense cable that into there, 12 channels. Yes, good. These all have their own channel now, which is fantastic. Now, this doesn't need to be set up like this, but it also doesn't really hurt. And I like the visual aspect. But I think I'm out of channels now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. So I'm not getting a channel here. I'm so confused as to how these flipping channels work. So 10 channels going in, 12 into there, 8 here. So that's my bottleneck right here. So I need another dense cable right here. Because that's 7, and this should all come into 9, into 11, and then into 13, and that should fix me up. Yes, good. Okay, so if you are ever confused about your channel system, go back and have a look at the middle, because the problem with this is the ME controller can take 32 channels per side, but it can only do that, obviously, if there are dense cables going into it. And obviously, if it's not pushing those channels into there, or if there's not enough room for all of the channels, then it will just crack it. And you could make all dense cables, and that would work. But it's also a bit unwieldy and a lot of crafting. So just keep that in mind. While I was doing it as well, I've set up a little loot bag opener system here. So all of the loot bags get put into this chest, and then they go through this loot bag opener. So they go into the system, then straight down into that chest. I tried to do it so that it didn't go into the system first, or it went straight into that chest from the system, but that didn't work. I don't really know why. This is also creating a channel that it probably doesn't need to. All right, I think this is kind of a short episode, but I think I'm going to cut it there. This now allows us to get our auto crafting setup going. So I can move. Actually, the big test will be, can I go into here and have a look at the interface terminal? 6 molecular assemblers. Good. We could eventually put this to... because I think I've got room in the system for one more. Yes. I could put one more molecular assembler on here, or one more setup. So one more interface with the assemblers on all sides. And that should... Oh, whoa. What happened to you, mouse? That should max that out. 8 channels, yep. It's not ideal, and it's not really large enough, so we may have to end up running dense cables later on. But until then, we've finally moved and updated our storage system. It's always been a little bit messy. The good thing about this now is that all of the mob drops that I'm getting have a place to go, so I can keep my spawners active pretty much non-stop, and I can also, now that I have the loot bag opener, that's going to get us some new loot, and also the patient bags, I believe, give us nether stars. Not that we've got one yet, and I realise I'm saying quite a lot. So I haven't... mind you, the patient bags take a long time to open. If I can have a look at some of this loot, it would be nice to see what I've got. And it's going to go all a little bit crazy because of the patient bags going in and out. I started looking at woot. We could set up a woot farm eventually. It takes a lot of crafting, so I haven't really done it yet. Ooh, a blacker lotus. I'm guessing I got that from opening a loot bag. I forgot I even had these. So that's quite cool. A lot of enders. And I think a whole heap of armor. We're going to have to void all this armor, I think, ultimately. Yeah, I'm going to have to... There's a lot of crap in here, but it doesn't look like our storage system is suffering. This one is completely empty. So, not too bad. So, anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.